There are astronauts, and there are UFONAUts.
Warning. The following material may not be suitable for all audiences. Please listen responsibly.
Welcome, everyone, to UFONAUT Radio, 9 to 10 every Saturday night. Broadcasting live here from the mothership, KPAM 860. I am your host, Jesse Randolph. And as always, thanks for tuning in tonight. Saturday night, what else are you going to be doing? To a program that takes you on a truth journey outside the Matrix every week. We're so glad to have you with us. What a show we have planned for you tonight. So many things happening. Things are changing. There's an acceleration of the paranormal, obviously, going on out there. I feel it. The listeners feel it. The new guard feels it. And tonight, we have a guest coming on that's going to try to tap into the mental aspects of the visitors, the ET presence on this planet. UFONAUT Radio, what do we do here? Well, quite simply, we report the latest happenings within ufology, paranormal, and new science communities, and we examine the subjects with a high level of scrutiny together, positive level, because that's what we need these days. We need to do this together, and we have to open our minds. With that being said, let's put a cell phone on vibrate for me, if you would. Open your mind, and let's walk down this road together, less traveled. Now, like I said, tonight's show, wow, I'm excited. You know, I often wonder, as do so many of our listeners, and I want to thank you now for some of the great feedback I've gotten this week from the UK especially. Thank you, UK. But I've often wondered, and so do they, what beings from other planets think about us? What are they thinking about us? Do they think that we are like little bugs, as Michio Kaku might think? Might they think that we are like
cranks and weirdos,
like Stephen Hawking thinks that many of us are? No, I'm not sure. But what do they think about us? Not only that, but the reasons behind their actions. The alien agenda is what I speak of here. From the ET point of view is fascinating to ponder. But it can also be a bit too far for the mind to stretch to consider. Unless you listen to this program, then you're right on target. So stick around. Our guest tonight has taken on these amazing questions. He has a book you must read. It's titled Alien Mind. That's Alien Mind, which investigates alien activities and the mindset behind it. No longer are we trying to convince people of an ET presence. We have gone beyond that. Now we are interested in what they are thinking. What are their thought patterns? Why are they doing what they are doing? What is their agenda? Our guest tonight, we're excited about this, George Lobuono. I hope I'm getting that right. What ET is thinking as the critical threshold unfolds here that we may be on the brink of, and your phone calls after the news. Now, quickly, here's some exciting stuff going on in the world of UFONAUT before we jump right in and get this truth journey rolling. UFONAUT Studios has launched UFONAUT radio videos on their brand new YouTube hub. This is very exciting. It's branded. It's huge. And this is a chance for you to see me in the studio, which is sometimes a little frightening. We might even get a shot of Dylan once in a while out there. Yes, hello, Dylan. And get a unique perspective on the show. So search for UFO TV Studios on YouTube to see all the current weekly videos. We're doing weekly videos. You can hear Sandy. You can see me flailing around and doing my thing, getting excited as I do. I can't help it. I can't help it. This topic is the cutting edge of what's important in this world. It's what's going on. UFONAUT Radio new card T-shirts are currently for sale at UFONAUTradio.com. I'm wearing one right now. I haven't taken it off in a week, and people are starting to talk. So I am going to have to wash it eventually. But for right now, I can't. It's too soft and cuddly. It's like a bear that you want to take to bed with you. But seriously, new guard on the back. Tell them what you stand for. Brand new interviews with both Stuart Swerdlow and Alejandro T. Rojas are now available for immediate download in the members section. With that being said, if you're driving home from the Beavers game, or if you're out there in Portland drinking a cup of coffee or having a beer, or if you're somewhere all over the entire country tuning in on the web stream, open your minds. Join us tonight. Let's get the truth journey rolling like a freight train. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. We got to do this with our top 3 items of interest for this week, September 4th. Miss Sandy Fleming, our news correspondent, coming right up here. Okay, Los Angeles, California. Sandy Fleming, welcome to the program. How are you?
I am glad to be here as always, Jesse.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here as always. And now you have this cult following. There are people that are asking me for Fleming T-shirts.
Ha ha. There are some crazy ones out there, aren't there?
That's, well, some would call them eccentric or crazy. It depends how you describe it. Now, I'll tell you something. Whenever I'm in a supermarket, I was in Trader Joe's today, my favorite supermarket in the world, and I was wearing my UFONAUT radio T-shirt, of course. There's always a comment. There's always a question. Somebody said, "Is that a band?" I said, "No." I'll give you 2 other guesses. They said, "Is that a radio program?" I said, "Yeah, good guess." Good guess. It says UFONAUT radio on it. And then there comes a flood of other things, and basically I tell them that people from other worlds call me on a daily basis at home on my phone. And that's an interesting job for anyone. And we've talked about during the week how some people can get burned out on this because it's hard to weed through the muck. It's hard to weed through and find these quality messengers. And there are charlatans. We all know this. So there's people that call me and will say, "Hey, I'm from Uranus and I got something to say," and, crazy stuff. And I have to sit here sometimes. I'm driving or I'm trying to pick up my kid or whatever it is, and I have to field these phone calls. And usually when they're really crazy, or if I think that they're a little out there, what I do is I give them your number.
Oh, that's who keeps calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did you know?
Cranks and weirdos.
Cranks and weirdos.
Cranks and weirdos.
There you go. So I just wanted to let you know that, Sandy. Thank you for filling that role that we needed so badly within here. Now, listen, there's a lot going on as per usual. Let's start it off with number 3 for tonight on our top 3 items of interest.
Speaking of cranks and weirdos, Stephen Hawking can't seem to stop misguiding us. This past week, in a press conference promoting his new book, famed physicist Stephen Hawking declared openly that God did not create the universe. This comes as a shock to many readers, as his last book, A Brief History of Time, seemed to accept the presence of the divine. Contrary to the beliefs of many creationists and a millennia of sacred theology, the discovery of M theory seems to explain away all mysticism surrounding the behavior and even the creation of all particles in the universe. In his new book, The Grand Theory, he challenges Isaac Newton's concept that chaos could not have created such a perfect balance of harmonic coexistence. He says that the very fact that we may be on the verge of discovering the fundamental principles that govern creation proves that there must be no creator. In other words, if we can explain how the universe was created through science, then it couldn't have been the product of intelligent design, but instead by chance alone.
Could you imagine?
That makes no sense to me.
Well, sometimes I'm intelligent enough, I think, and humble enough to say when things have gone above my pay grade intellectually. But some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, I think people just digest and go with because of his credibility and who he is, his name, and what he's done in the past, and his reputation. And I understand that. You usually want to go by that. But some of these things, especially lately, it almost seems like there's some sort of agenda going on with him. I don't know if he's getting ill or he's thinking he's not going to be around much longer and he's trying to get it all out of him. I'm not sure, but there's something strange in my gut about this gentleman that tells me either A, he's working for somebody, or B, he has a specific agenda that he's trying to get across to the masses, and there's a message within. Maybe someone will write a book or put out a paper, a white paper, about the messages within the Stephen Hawking's messages. It could be interesting. What do you think?
I agree with you, Jesse. He's been dabbling in areas that he has not dabbled in before, and a lot of them have to do with ETs and creation.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit curious myself.
And especially since this is a topic that most of these gentlemen have pretty much shied away from for so many years and ignored. Let's go to number 2, Sandy.
If we build it, they will come. Hundreds of people were expected to gather Saturday at a UFO port in southwestern France to celebrate what could be a highly lucrative investment, the expansion of landing facilities for flying saucers. The festivities in the town of Arras are a prelude to the installation of lights and windsocks, which locals hope will guide aliens to Earth from outer space. The UFO port was opened in 1976 after a vote by a local councilman, reportedly amid some laughter. A triangular seafront esplanade was set aside for unidentified flying objects, and a marble slab with a message of, "To all travelers from the universe, welcome," was put in place. The councilman also passed a law exempting aliens from local taxes and authorized them to participate in French boulet tournaments. Hey, if we build it, maybe they'll come. Maybe they just need a place that says land here.
Perhaps. I think it goes a little beyond that. And some of these stories are so bizarre recently. You know who's doing a great job of providing those Inquirer-type stories that are just almost too unbelievable to believe, although a lot of them might be true, like this one. The Examiner does a good job, and my friend over in Australia, All News Web. By the way, quick shout out to Australia. You guys have been so supportive these past few weeks to the show, to both Sandy and I. So we both want to thank you very much. In fact, we're starting to save our change here, a world tour at some point, and then having some conferences or meetings, or maybe just a little listener parties or whatnot in a country near you. Wouldn't that be exciting? Do a little world tour. What do you think, Sandy?
That would be awesome. And I love All News Web, by the way. Thanks for mentioning them again.
Yeah, those guys are Michael Cohen over there. They always have something that is mind-blowing, so I'll give him a plug. I don't mind. I haven't had him on in a while. We should get him on. Okay, I know you wanted to mention something else before you go here. We're going to do the number one item of interest for this week. Very exciting. Go ahead.
UFONAUT Light explores terrestrial truth in the Gulf. UFONAUT Light, the baby ship of the UFONAUT program you are listening to right now, uncovered the truth of what is really happening in the Gulf. This past Thursday, yours truly, Jesse Randolph, interviewed BP's local public liaison, Ms. Kendra Arneson, on UFONAUT Light. While the mainstream media is reporting that the oil spill has been contained, there is little oil to be seen, and the fish and shrimp are safe to eat, we found out otherwise. Kendra Arneson slipped through the cracks of the media shutdown in Venice, Louisiana, and discovered just how much of a cover-up BP is trying to conduct in the Gulf. In this rare interview, Kendra speaks candidly and honestly, as she states she rarely can, just how much BP is lying to the public. You can tune into UFONAUT Light through Blog Talk Radio and iTunes to hear the program where Kendra shares disturbing facts about how BP officials won't even touch the shrimp they say is safe to eat, are putting on what is called a dog and pony show for the politicians and media, and are basically putting the fishermen and workers in the area through the runaround in processing their claims. I suspect they don't have the money to give them what they're asking for because they're spending a little too much on their PR these days, saying that everything is just fine in the Gulf when we know it is not true.
Well, I will say this, and well, it's easy for me to say this because it's true. This was probably one of the best interviews I've done this year from a journalistic perspective. This woman is a New Guard freedom fighter. She is as grassroots as you can get. If you're wondering what happened down at the Gulf, if you're wondering what is still going on, because, like I said, during Vietnam, you had guys in the field from the press. You could sit down there at night and watch the war. Afghanistan, you don't have that. Iran, you don't have that. and the Gulf. There seems to be some sort of media blackout. We've heard this before from many people that have been on this program. James Fox came on and did this, and we always have these rogue-type people, these grassroots freedom fighters, and that's what America was based on, people like this woman, Kendra. And when you hear the conviction, when you hear the passion in her voice, and what has happened to their town, and what is continuing to happen, it is not only frustrating, but it's eye-opening, and you can really see what you don't get in mainstream media. So I urge you, for me, it was a first of its kind for UFONAUT, and sometimes people will say, hey, Jess, you know what? You're off topic. What are you doing? You're a saucer head. What are you doing? You're not supposed to do this. You're only supposed to talk about stuff off-world. Well, you know what? It's all interconnected, my friends, because the bottom line is this. If something is being covered up, if there's something wrong, then we need to explore it, because it is connected to ufology in so many ways, because we've been trying to get answers on this for so long. So let's do this. We're going to break here. Sandy Fleming, of course, fantastic job, as always, as our news correspondent. When we come back, The Alien Mind with George Lombuono, I think you're going to be amazed. Let's get into their heads, shall we? They've gotten into our heads for so long. This is UFONAUT Radio, KPAM 860.